Have you ever stopped to think why, even with so many conveniences and technologies, we still feel anxious, overwhelmed, and often lost? We live in the age of instant information, of constant connectivity, yet the feeling of emptiness seems to persist. It's as if we are running a marathon without knowing where the finish line is. And what if I told you that the answers to many of your concerns are not in the latest technological innovations, but in texts written over 2,000 years ago? Ancient philosophy, especially Stoicism, offers a map for mental health that is more relevant today than ever. It's not about a distant academic theory, but a practical guide to living well, to finding meaning amid chaos. Think about your life. How many times have you felt powerless in the face of situations you couldn't control? Chaotic traffic, other people's opinions, economic crises, illnesses. The list is endless. In those moments, our minds fill with worries, our energy drains away, and we end up feeling exhausted, unable to change anything. Stoicism teaches us a radically simple yet profoundly liberating lesson. There are things we can control and there are things we cannot. And our peace of mind depends on knowing the difference between the two. This distinction is the foundation of everything. It's the key to stop fighting against the wind and start sailing with it. The philosopher Epictetus, a slave who became one of the great Stoic thinkers, taught that it is not events that disturb us, but our judgment about them. Think about it. It's not your boss who irritates you, but your interpretation that he is being unfair. It's not the rain that ruins your day, but your idea that a good day requires sunshine. This is a powerful shift in perspective. It takes us out of the role of victim and places us in control of our own mind. Stoicism invites us to focus on what is within our reach. Our choices, our actions, our reactions, and above all, our character. It's an invitation to become masters of our inner world, regardless of what happens outside. Many people associate Stoicism with a lack of emotion, with a monotonous and joyless life. That's a big misconception. The Stoics didn't seek to suppress emotions, but to understand and manage them so they wouldn't dominate our lives. They knew that anger, fear, and sadness are natural, but they believed our reaction to these emotions is a choice. And that, with practice, we can choose to respond with wisdom instead of reacting impulsively. It's like a surfer. He cannot control the wave, but he can learn to ride it. Life sends us waves all the time, but Stoicism gives us the board so we are not swept away by them. For the Stoics, the goal of life is not wealth, fame, or power. The goal is virtue. And what is virtue? It is living according to reason, with nature, with what is good. It's the pursuit of wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. And this pursuit is a daily process. It's like mental training and exercise to strengthen our spirit. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, who was a Stoic, wrote a journal for himself, full of reminders and reflections on how to be a better person. These texts, collected in the book Meditations, show us a powerful man, but one who struggled with the same concerns we do: death, betrayal, the purpose of life. And he found in philosophy his safe harbor. Stoicism is not a magic formula for happiness, but a path to tranquility. It is the ability to find peace in the midst of storms. And this tranquility comes from our commitment to being better people, to acting with integrity, to focusing on what really matters. Think about your search for meaning. Do you believe it lies in something external, like a new job or a relationship? The Stoics would say that meaning lies in your ability to be a virtuous person, to contribute to the world, to live with purpose. And that this is the one thing no one can take from you. For the Stoics, mental health is not the absence of problems, but the strength to face them. It is the ability to maintain serenity in the face of adversity, to accept what cannot be changed, and to act wisely in what can. It's an invitation to stop complaining about the world and start building our inner world. It's a journey towards self-knowledge, self-acceptance, and personal growth. And best of all, it's a journey you can start right now, needing nothing more than your own mind. If the first part of our talk inspired you, the second is about how to put this philosophy into practice. It's no use just knowing that Stoicism exists. True transformation happens when we apply it to our daily lives. It's like learning to swim. You can read all the books about swimming, but you'll only really learn when you jump into the water. So, let's dive into the practical tools the Stoics used, which can revolutionize your mental health today. One of the most powerful and, at the same time, uncomfortable techniques is negative visualization. It may sound strange, right? We are taught to always think positive to attract good things. But the Stoics had a different approach. They encouraged us to imagine, for a few minutes, losing the things we value most. Our job, our health, the people we love. The idea is not to be pessimistic, but to prepare ourselves for the reality of life. Our lives are fragile and losses are inevitable. By confronting this truth, we not only prepare mentally for the worst, but also learn to appreciate more what we have. When you visualize the loss of a loved one, the time you spend with them becomes more precious. When you think you might lose your job, your current work gains new value. This practice takes us out of autopilot and makes us live with more gratitude and awareness. Another central practice of Stoicism is the reflection journal. Remember that Marcus Aurelius wrote in his journal? He did it to remind himself of his principles, to analyze his actions, and to prepare for the next day. The idea is simple. At the end of the day, take a few minutes to reflect on what happened. Where did you act with wisdom? Where could you have acted better? What were your judgments about the events? This daily reflection is an exercise in constructive self-criticism. It helps us identify negative thought patterns, recognize our flaws, and plan how we can improve. It's not about blaming yourself, but about learning. The journal becomes a mirror of our soul, a place to be honest with ourselves. It's the space where we take responsibility for our own growth. Controlling our attention was also fundamental for the Stoics. In a world full of distractions, the ability to focus is a superpower. The philosopher Seneca warned us about the danger of jumping from one thing to another without ever going deep into anything. He encouraged us to focus on one thing at a time, to dedicate ourselves to a subject, a task, a relationship. Focus is a way of honoring our time and energy. Today, we are constantly bombarded with notifications, news, and social media. This not only distracts us, but also leaves us with a sense of dispersion, of not really doing anything. Stoicism invites us to become masters of our attention, to choose where we place it. When you decide to focus on a conversation, you make it more meaningful. When you dedicate yourself to a project, it becomes more rewarding. Finally, and perhaps the most profound lesson of Stoicism, is acceptance. Not passive acceptance, like, oh, I give up, but active acceptance, like, this is what it is, and now what do I do with it? Life is not fair. People can disappoint us. Plans can fail. That's reality. And our peace of mind depends on accepting this reality instead of fighting against it. Think of a stone in a river. The water may try to change it, but the stone remains there, firm, while the water flows around it. We are the stone. The problems are the water. And our resilience lies in standing firm, accepting what cannot be changed, and using our energy to find solutions and move forward. Mental health is not a final state to be achieved. It's a journey, and a 2,000-year-old philosophy, especially Stoicism, offers a compass for this journey. It teaches us not to fear pain, but to use it as a catalyst for growth. It shows us that freedom is not in doing what we want, but in wanting what we do, and that the meaning of life is not something to be found, but something to be created every day with each choice we make. It's an invitation to live with purpose, with courage, and above all, with deep inner serenity. It's a philosophy for real life, for your daily life, and for your search for meaning.